Hi everyone, Supermice Sugar. This is the second video of my three-part series on the Grinch for Christmas. So in this video I will show you how I've made the cupcakes. So both cupcakes, or all the cupcakes, were actually just a butter cake, but I will explain that throughout the video. I have two different sorts, so I've got a basic buttercream cupcake, which are really quite simple to do, but again I do explain that. And I also have a little hat cupcake, which I think is really cute, and I've done this in the same way that I've actually done the hat on the Grinch cake. So it does have a little bit of airbrushing, so which you can actually, if you don't have an airbrush, you can just brush it on with a little bit of petal dust and a paintbrush, but again I will explain that. So hopefully you like the video. If you have any questions, please feel free and let me know, and like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.
Hi everyone, so here we go. We're putting the patty pans into my cupcake tin. With this particular cake, I did go out and have a look to see what colour patty pans I want, and there's so many to choose from these days, but the colours for the theme that I was wanting for the Grinch is green, red and white, so I just basically went for your good old plain white patty pan, which obviously is a whole lot cheaper. Some of the more elaborate colours cost a fair bit more money, so but anyway, the white was fine for me for this purpose. I have used a basic buttercream mix here. I really enjoy buttercream. It's a really nice flavour, and I find it stays really moist, and it's pretty good for a cupcake. You could use just a plain vanilla, and I know that some people use muffin mix, but I stick with a good old butter cake recipe, and I sort of find that you can sort of put different things in it. Like I've used different fillings, like chocolate ganache filling or meringue filling, or basically just buttercream filling, and it all works really well with this type of cake. So I popped it into the oven for, it was in the oven until it just started to brown on the outside, around about 20 minutes. And as you can see, they've come out pretty nice. So I use a, okay, so I've got the Italian meringue buttercream recipe at the end of the video, so you can sort of see what I've used. So I use a piping bag when I pipe my mix in, and as you can see, I squirt it in and get it to sort of around halfway up the patty pan. It gives you a beautiful flat surface, or an even cupcakes. Although mind you, in the past I've had cupcakes come out that have been too high on one side, too low on the other, and sort of all sorts of disasters. So, but anyway, this works pretty well, and piping it in works well. I'm cutting out the top of this, so this cupcake here I'm making is the hat. So I'm making little hats that suit the Grinch cake in my previous video, and I did try and think whether I should do buttercream or something like that on the top, but I figured it just easier for me to cut out some green sugar paste, which I coloured. So I used an electric green and a leaf green, mixed it into my sugar paste, or fondant. And I have a number of different round rings, so I've just chosen one that I quite like, that was close enough to the top of my patty pan, and place that on. So we're now doing the other cupcakes. So I wanted a mix of green and white, and I've got quite a large silver tube on the end. It's actually got 6 points to it, and I've mixed the white and the green into my piping bag, and as you can see here, I'm just starting from the outside in. The best thing when piping on a cupcake is not to actually squish your piping bag right on top of the cake. So keep it away an inch or so, perhaps a bit more. And when you pipe it down on, and then it gives you enough space to sort of lift the piping bag up as you go up the up to the point of your icing. So I've got it, it's a bit hard to see, but I do have it about an inch away, and as you can see, I've dragged it upward. It would have probably been nicer. I didn't put my white in as far as I wanted. So the first few couple of cupcakes I piped were more green than they were white. But look, hey, it doesn't really matter. So now what I'm wanting is a nice red dot on the top. So I've just used a round piping tube. Oh gosh, I wish I'd got the sizes, sorry, but anyway, it's just a round, it's just a tube with a rounded end with no pattern in it, and just pressing my dots. Again, this is red Italian meringue buttercream. You'll see I've put some recipes for everyone at the back of my video. The Italian meringue buttercream is really quite a nice, not overly sweet buttercream. It has a lot of egg white, and the sugar is cooked. But anyway, if you're interested, it is at the back. The American buttercream is probably the most stable of the lot, and really that is just whipping up your icing sugar and butter. If you're in Australia, I found it particularly difficult with my butter because our butter here is quite yellow. So I've ended up, if I want a white buttercream, buying the Danish butter, which is a fair bit lighter. And in some instances, if I want true colours such as reds or greens, I have I've actually gone and used some white shortening, so which I've sort of purchased, and I've mixed sort of a 50% shortening with the buttercream. So here I'm using some LCM bars. I did have put a Rice Krispie recipe at the back of the video for you, but I did cheat, actually go and buy some. I guess I was being a little bit lazy. So you can actually make up your Rice Krispie treats. They're quite simple. They're just basically your rice bubbles, a bit of butter and marshmallow, but yeah, anyway, I couldn't be bothered. So I'm making my little hats here. So these hats suit the hat that I did on the Grinch cake, and I'm just pre-forming them. And I did find I didn't actually need to use anything to adhere them to the top of my cupcakes, and they stuck quite well. I think the Rice Krispies or the LCM bars and the sugar paste, sugar paste was quite soft, so it did stick quite well. But you could use a little bit of sugar glue or something, even a little bit of buttercream, and stick it to the top of your patty pans. So I find that works quite well. Now a little bit of white sugar paste, and just wrapping that around. I do use, and you'll see in a minute, it's the same, it's sort of like a really harsh wire brush, a really small brush that I just purchased from the $2 shop. Yep, there you go. And just pressing my indentation, pressing that against the sugar paste, and it gives a really nice effect. It looks sort of somewhat like the fluff around the hat. I did spend a lot of time trying to find something to create that effect, and this worked out really well. It's really interesting with cake decorating. Quite often the tools that you least expect are the ones that work out the best, just your general plain old tools that you can buy from a $2 shop or that you might have in your kitchen. What you'll see once I've done this is I do use an airbrush. I do go through and use a red airbrush just to highlight the red areas a little bit, and then sort of a black colour just to give me some shading where you would normally see it on the hat. So if you don't have an airbrush, no worries. You can actually just get a paintbrush, and you can do a bit of shading with your with some black petal dust or something like that. But you know, I do find an airbrush pretty handy, and you can pick up a pretty cheap one, and they can give you a reasonably good effect. So that's almost about it. If there's any questions, please feel free to come back to me and let me know. As I said, I've got some recipes at the very end of this video, but certainly happy to help if there's some questions that someone would like or something I haven't answered. But look, thank you very much for following along, and coming up in the next sort of after this video, I will be putting one up on the cookies that I've made to suit this theme. Thanks again for watching.